from the beginning, you just hear her like walking really fast paced, like she's all pissed off, pumping into everybody. Everybody's
pushing people out of the way.
Fucking, like
little village kid. Like,
I know, right? Like,
village,
right? That was so
come
fucking
to destroy
good.
me, crops. Like,
it's no wonder they hung that bitch. Hey, how's it going, movie lovers? Welcome back to another episode of Not Your Everyday Critics. I'm your host, George Lugo.
And I'm Manny Rivera.
And if you haven't seen the show before, what we do is rate, review, and critique movies of all budgets, genres, and types.
And with over 500,000 movies in fucking all over the world, a lot of things we have to go through.
We have a lot of movies to go through, but today we're going to be reviewing a brand new movie that just came out on Disney Plus at the time of this recording a week ago. So when it comes out, it's going to be 2 weeks. Hocus Pocus 2, the long-anticipated sequel of the beloved Halloween film, Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus 2.
And we did do a movie review on Hocus Pocus last year during the same time.
Yeah.
Weird, right? So I'm actually kind of excited that the sequel made it just in time.
Right? Just for the Halloween season.
Just for the Halloween season. I mean, of course it would. It's not like they're releasing Hocus Pocus 2 during Thanksgiving or Christmas.
the first one came out in July.
Really? I did not remember. I thought I could have swore it came out in Halloween.
Well, I mean, they had to re-release it in Halloween, but it came out in July, like up when Jurassic Park came out.
Really?
Yeah, Tom Bruno and I got to interview David Kirschner, the writer of Hocus Pocus, last year. And dude, he's such a
cool guy.
Beautiful soul, dude.
Awesome.
He's so fucking cool. I love him
probably
so much.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good news. So I mean, we're gonna be reviewing all kinds of crazy shit today. So let's dive right into it and let's start talking about. I guess the first thing to talk about is the
so thirsty.
David Raby is our bartender.
Hello.
Thank you very much. And these are some cocktails that he made for us. There was what was it called again?
Life potion.
Life potion.
Life potion.
Life potion.
What goes into a life potion, Dave?
Vodka, apple pucker, or sweet sour apple pucker kind of thing. Midori, triple sec, Sprite, and pineapple juice.
Equiliquid.
That sounds pretty good.
It's gonna be very sweet.
It's gonna be very sweet.
Yeah.
But I mean, bottoms up.
Right,
Cheers,
bottoms
guys.
up. Cheers.
Cheers. Clink, David.
Bam. Here we go.
It's actually not as sweet as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, I agree.
Actually tastes pretty good.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay.
I'm down for that.
Wow.
That's great.
It's really good.
That pineapple juice really cuts everything.
I was
down.
just about to say, cut all that shit down.
Wow. Okay.
Fuck yeah. But that drink
Life
was
potion, man.
that drink was inspired by the life potion that the witches make in the movie. That's the
That's what I
whole
wanted
point.
to say when it cheers. Like, sisters!
We'll try to remember that for the next one. Let's just talk about the cast. So this is 30 years in the making, and apparently they were talking about they wanted to do it sooner, but they didn't get a script that was appealing. Kind of like Bill Murray with the Ghostbusters sequel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was down to do a third movie,
Right.
but he never got a script that was like, I'm not into it. Like he wanted something.
He was happy with it.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with it.
It was just fucking rewrite shit over and over again until I'm good.
Well, I'm glad that David Kirschner actually got around to find he wrote something that they liked enough, because the first one he really wrote for his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a little story that he wrote for his daughter.
I like that they got the, obviously they had to get the original cast, right? They had to get Bette Midler, Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy,
who does the voice for Peggy Hill.
She does do the voice for Peggy Hill, and she's also in Sister Act 1 and 2.
Oh shit!
Which actually they're gonna make a sequel to that too.
What?
They are.
Oh,
I was just listening to an interview with Kathy Najimy, and she's being interviewed by Whoopi Goldberg, like The View or whatever that show is.
Right. Oh yeah, The View.
Yeah, is it The View with Whoopi Goldberg?
It's gotta be.
Well, anyways, like it was the one of the morning shows, and they were talking about Hocus Pocus 2. I guess Kathy Najimy she does a bunch of work for like reproductive stuff, like for women.
Oh,
and
okay, cool.
she like just wrote a book recently, and somebody mentioned if the Sister Act 3 was going to come out, and they were like, yeah, actually, come pretty soon. She's like, the script is coming next week, and I was like, oh shit.
Damn. Okay.
So that's just, I know it's a little bit off topic, but I mean that was another movie I really liked growing up, Sister Act 1 and 2.
I really, it was a little guilty pleasure.
We're gonna get to that for sure. We're gonna get to that for sure.
Oh yeah.
But staying on track with Hocus Pocus, it's good to see that all the women there have had a very illustrious career, and so it's great to see them back in their roles as the Sanderson Sisters. And they actually look great. They fucking look amazing.
Yeah,
for
they
their
still
age.
do really good still.
Yeah.
Really
For being
good.
30 years plus now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look great. So what do you guys think of the opening sequence with the young Sanderson sisters?
I was really impressed.
Dude, that was actually those girls were
Spot on.
Exactly.
impressive.
Spot
Yeah,
on.
impressive from the
mannerisms,
oh
They got
my
the
God, it was
mannerisms
so
down.
good.
the body language,
Um,
everything, dude. It
the
was
one
just,
that plays what's her name? Winnie, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Bette Midler's character.
Mhm.
She was so good at playing
and
that character.
She played
With the
Winifred.
teeth coming out,
Played
the
Winifred really
attitude,
well.
the whole flair and facade that she's
Mhm.
got going on. And then Kathy and Jimmy's character as a kid, she's playing as she still has
still has
that,
that little weird
that
lip
little
thing.
weird
She has a
crooked mouth
Sylvester
and
Stallone
everything
lip.
like that. So, but yeah, those kids were actually really good at playing those characters. That was actually
think
super good.
That was one of my favorite parts of this movie is how well the children,
yeah.
they modeled the mimicked those characters perfectly.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the very beginning of this movie.
They did their homework very
They did
well.
their homework very well, and
Yeah, it
that's
was-
very rare for us to say about children actors because I feel like
It's
a lot
tough.
of them.
It's
tough. It's a hard
super
gig.
good.
It's a hard gig, and
Especially coming back from a movie that's highly anticipated, to be able to pull this off.
yeah,
You know, that's got to be a lot of pressure on those kids, but it really worked out.
it really worked out, and I'm glad it did. You know,
From the beginning, you just hear her like walking really fast paced, like she's all pissed off,
Yeah.
bumping
Pushing-
into
yeah.
everybody. Everybody's
people
getting
out of the
all
way.
Fucking like
Little village dickhead. Like,
I know,
fuck this
right?
bitch,
It was like,
dude.
fucking
fuck.
village bitch.
Yeah.
right? That was so
Come to
fucking
destroy
good.
me, crops, you cunt. Like,
It's no wonder they hung that bitch.
it wasn't even because she was a witch. It was because she was a
Ah,
bitch.
she was a bitch. But yeah,
but I like how
no,
they did that in the very beginning. They gave us a little bit of backstory
I really liked it.
on all the characters, and also in Winifred, like how remember they kept talking about how Billy Butcherson was like her lover, and he's like, we shared one kiss.
Yeah, the whole fucking time.
We shared
the
one
whole
kiss.
the whole fucking time.
Yeah. So I mean, that was pretty awesome. That was
Well,
pretty
back
awesome.
then, one kiss meant you're
It meant
getting
a
knocked
lot.
up. And
It meant a lot. I
yeah.
mean, you have to imagine that like back then, people they were having kids at like 13, 14,
it was
15. Like if you technically, had your menstruation stuff, it means you're ready for reproduction.
how are you not married yet?
Yeah.
We got to get
You're
you going.
never gonna find a husband.
No, 16 years old, time to get married.
The beginning was fucking great, and then I like how they introduced the new characters.
Yeah,
It's kind of cool, like, which is cool. We have like a new, not necessarily like Max and Danny, Max and Danny.
Oh yeah.
But we get introduced this whole new set of characters, which is good because it's fresh, right? So it's like they're not necessarily playing the same roles. They have something completely new and different, and they have their own. They're interested in witchcraft and stuff, so they have like technically their own little coven.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. It gives a spin on the movie, but they're missing one of the three from their group, which is kind of unfortunate.
Third
But
amigo.
yeah, that adds like a whole different dynamic that they have to regain their friend and then continue the movie forward. So,
Right.
what do you think?
I like how fucking the guy who played such like an idiot, whatever.
He was so fucking
He was
dumb.
like-
He was the best part.
I just
of
said
that
you guys are
relationship.
weird and you guys do like seances and stuff.
I wasn't making fun of
It's
you.
like
I wasn't
that's
making fun of you.
That's insulting people.
and he's just sitting there. He's like, I have a lot
Oh,
of people.
I have
to
a lot of people to apologize
to. Like that was great. That was great.
That shit was funny as fuck. Oh
That was
man,
great.
no, but yeah,
Okay.
the entrance of the movie was
The intro
alright.
the intro was great. The introduction to the characters was good. I want to talk about, because I mean, there's obviously issues with this movie, and I want to talk about the negatives, and then we're going to finish off on the positives. So let's talk about things you did not like about the movie.
Okay, what do you got for right now?
Okay, one of the things that I do not like that a lot of sequels do is they take a lot of the same jokes from the first movie or a lot of the gags, and they drill it to death in the sequels.
Okay,
And that kind of becomes like its identity. Its identity is that it's literally a ripoff of the first. And they did that a lot in this movie. And when they introduced the witches, they came out like singing and dancing. And I was not a fan of that at all. I was like, oh man, like this is how they're going to introduce the Sanderson sisters. Like, I understand it's like a big musical number, and they even made a joke about it.
yeah,
But it was so unappealing.
I thought it was pretty funny.
It was
I
unappealing
thought it
for
was
me.
funny.
I'm obviously we're gonna have issues.
I just like, who are they singing to?
Exactly.
You.
That
Like,
was
oh, fuck.
that was funny, but it's like, I don't know. I absolutely love the way they introduced them in the very first movie. Doesn't mean they have to mimic it, but they should have done something a little bit different. I guess they did with the singing, but just, I don't know, it didn't sit well. You know,
the feeling from the first movie, completely different feeling to the second movie, because the second movie didn't feel like
it was more
as like eerie. It felt just more fun. Like
it was a fun movie.
The first movie had kind of like a spooky feature to it. It was like a fun movie, but it had like, you know, this suspense or thriller type into it. I think this one didn't really have too much of that in the beginning of the movie.
I think maybe it's because, you know, we're expecting that. Like, we already know what's going to happen. Like Hocus Pocus 2. Like, okay.
Probably.
We're used, you know.
Probably. But
I felt like there should have been a little bit more.
I would have liked a little bit more spooky and eeriness to it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It definitely felt like, it was definitely a fun, like, family movie, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
But I would have liked it to be just a little bit more eerie, you know. It would have fit the movie just a little bit better.
I was disappointed.
I'm not saying they had to cut people's heads off, even though they did it to Billy twice.
Yeah. I was disappointed that they had to hide a bit more of Sarah Jessica Parker's cleavage this time around in her costume.
I know, it's because
I was like, come on.
Let the girls out to play.
Hey,
Disney, bro.
You got to breathe a little bit, you know? Yeah, there was. Wait, it wasn't Disney before, huh?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, fucking Disney.
They had to let those puppies fly before now.
Who was the company before?
I can't remember, but I know
because Disney purchased it. But I mean, who made it? You know,
I can't remember.
Okay,
I can't remember.
If I look it up, I'll put it right here.
Yeah,
Did it.
But
Simpsons did it.
Yeah. But the movie itself, I like. So one of the things I was kind of like weirded about it was that girl that got her powers. She turns out to be a witch, you know. And they were saying like, oh, on your 16th birthday and everything like that.
They gave us that was another thing, is they kind of gave us like a bullshit explanation on
it was kind of like,
people got their powers. It's like, oh, they just
16 years old. That's
just
it. You're a wizard.
Yeah.
So yeah. But
yeah.
I kind of wish they would explain that a little bit more, other than once you turn 16, you just fucking get abilities or whatever, you know?
I thought it was because she lit the candle, too. That's how she got him.
Well, I mean, if that were the case, then What's-His-Face should have got some powers, too, from the first movie, because he lit the candle and he was a virgin.
But he was
I mean, he wasn't really...
He wasn't, like, into witchcraft.
He wasn't a witch and wasn't into witchcraft, so...
Yeah. No, but I mean...
That's the thing, is they just say that your powers spawn, but they don't exactly say how you become a witch.
Maybe she was chosen? Like it's in her bloodline or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
possible. See, I would. The thing is like we're trying to find an explanation, and they're not giving us one other than that she just turned 16, so now she has abilities. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I kind of wish they kind of dove a little bit more into that kind of process to see what had happened. Maybe her bloodline, or she's part of the sister thing or whatever. But.
Yeah, I think that was my only discrepancy, was that they didn't exactly explain how the witches got their powers. They just said that they just basically came out at 16. I was like, oh, it's kind of lame. It's almost like a bullshit comic book reason. You know, they're just like, oh, this happens here for this reason, and they don't really go into depth. But I mean, we don't need to drill home on that or anything.
Happy birthday, Harry! You're a wizard.
I think that maybe I don't know. There might be more to it. I think. I did like how they set everything up and how everything was explained and everything. I do like how it ended as well. I thought it was very fitting. It was just nice.
I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see more of their like maximum power when she did that spell that was not supposed to be done. I forgot what it's called, like something maxima.
Power maxima.
Yeah, power maxima.
Power maxima.
And I kind of
spell that shouldn't be done.
Yeah, and I kind of wish they would have exploited that spell a little bit more.
Yeah, you see that thing is, I think they would have done it more if, she didn't start seeing her sisters start disappearing after.
Yeah, I think that's why. That's
no, I know,
why
but
probably why that you didn't get to see more of what it was because of that actually happening.
No, but I'm just saying that.
Because all you see is Winifred's eyes glow purple.
But they had their power, that power for a brief period of time where all three of them were maxed out.
Yeah.
So it would have been nice to see more than. It would have been nice to see more than that. Like they should have done some crazy shit.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, the two sisters, they weren't like the brightest people ever, and they were just having fun with all that. Brightest, really. It was always Winifred that was like had the brains of the operations and everything like that. As you could tell, the other two were just trying to fucking play with their fucking shit. You know, they weren't serious about any of their.
Yeah, that's another thing that was kind of annoying, was that like they kept saying that they were the most powerful coven in all of history. And I'm like, them?
Yeah. I think maybe.
I don't like them, really? The ones that got hung by villagers?
Yeah.
No.
Hung by villagers, got brought back.
No, but
twice.
exactly. If they're the most powerful coven, they should have killed those villagers.
Should have, for sure. Should have.
Winifred could shoot lightning from her fingertips, but she couldn't stop people from breaking into her little witch house.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. There are some things that just they don't match up, but it is what it is. We can't rewrite the first movie or the second one.
Or salt blocking her magic. I mean,
That's
like,
always been a staple.
it's always been a thing.
That's always been a thing
like,
for witchcraft.
Yeah.
It was just
bad spirits.
Yeah.
crazy to think like that in itself. And I'm just like, I know like some of the witchcraft stuff like that, how salt works and some other things and everything like that. But it was just crazy to see that how powerful this woman was, and a little like that salt fucking circle just.
We just explained it to you.
It was just crazy to me because I only hear this stuff. I don't know fucking like that aspect of how that worked. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And then the girl, she's using her own magic to block their magic, all three of their magics, after throwing their lightning bolts.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Force Awakens type thing where she knew how to use her ability right away. And I'm like, come on, man.
I don't know.
That's so the movie was almost 2 hours long. It was like an hour and like 45 minutes long. There's plenty of time there in the movie to do character development, maybe teach her how to use her abilities. Like even just a small montage of her like just learning how to use her stuff would have been cool, you know.
Like she didn't have that much time. I mean, yeah,
no, I know, but I'm just saying that's why that's what montages are for.
Yeah,
you know? Like they literally had until sunrise. So I mean, there's what, like 9-10 hours there. They could.
I gotta say that was a pretty dick move on that Gilbert guy.
It definitely was a fucking dick move on that guy.
Definitely.
Like
that's a super dick move.
Like you knew right away too, and he's like, "I got the candle for you." It's very special, and they like freeze for like pause for a minute on him. I'm like, "Oh, he did it. He did it. He's the guy." Yeah,
it's easy to pick apart for sure.
Yeah, right away.
And he tells the girls, "Oh, how were they?" Yeah. And then he explains that he was there in 1993, seeing them fly overhead on everything like that.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Following them to the graveyard.
It's cool. He followed him around
added
like a fucking
that
creep.
Little pre-story of when he saw that stuff and everything like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually pretty cool.
No, it's cool that's how they tied him in.
Yeah,
I like how they tied him in.
That was actually that was awesome.
Yeah, I like how they tied him in for sure. That was good. But just a super dick move on his part.
Yeah. Super dick.
Yeah. He's like, they're just misunderstood. I think, no, man, they're witches. they eat children. I don't think that's misunderstood.
No. What did he say? Maybe if they had like a different sense of direction, because back then they were hated on, and now they can, like, if we showed them whatever to be nice or whatever it is, they could change or something like that. He had this outlook on for them to like change and be something like great and special.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's just fucking wishful thinking, dude. These
that's
guys
not happening, Captain.
Fucking witches, man. They wanted to like actually like do damage. You know, talking about sucking the souls out of children, and then them explaining how, there's a store where they make these like the lotions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, see, that's another thing that bugged me was they played the same. That's the same gag from the first one.
Yeah,
you would think that they're wise onto it now. They should have saw that coming, 100% saw that coming, and then trapped the girls even faster. But they kind of let it be played out, and they allowed themselves to get tricked. And then
the one girl says, "No more drawing children," and they kind of just go into it.
Yeah.
And then the younger sister, whatever her name is, I can't remember. She goes, "Oh, really? No, you don't have to draw them. That was like my one job that I had to do." And she just seems so upset and so down after that.
She was depressed.
Like she was like not useful anymore because that's what was her job.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fucking,
Like I said, I'm kind of like 50-50 on this movie because there are some things I really enjoyed and there are just some things I did not like. I don't think the movie was horrible. I don't think it was also a great movie, which means like I'm not the only person that thinks this. The movie did not get 100% positive reviews. It's also kind of 50-50. So
really?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a hit or a miss if we get another sequel. Because I know the girls said they were down for it again.
Yes. Midler and them?
Yes.
How?
Did you guys see the ending credit, like the after credit at the end with the black cat?
I did not actually.
I don't think so.
You guys didn't see that?
No.
No? Oh, dude. So can I say this?
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So at the end of the movie, after all the credits, it cuts to a scene, and it's the black cat, and the black cat just jumps off of whatever, and it's walking down the hall in the magic shop. And then he jumps onto the table, and jumps onto a shelf. And in that shelf, the cat looks into this box. And you don't understand why he's looking into the box. But then as the camera kind of pans down, it says black candle number 2.
Oh,
nice.
He made a second black candle.
Nice.
Oh,
So
okay.
at the end of the movie, that's where that credit went to. So I made sure to watch all the way till in case something were to happen.
Right.
And
Fucking Disney, man. They're doing they're doing the Marvel thing on
Yeah.
movies that aren't Marvel, dude.
So I watched
Chill
all
out
the
on
way.
the end credit scenes.
Yeah,
Just
so
put it
I
in the
waited all
movie.
the way to the end to see if that, because I was like, there's got to be something with Coco, you know, the black cat, the fucking like something.
Coco.
Coco, you know, Coco. But like I was like waiting to see something because it seemed like something was gonna happen with the damn cat.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that I watched the entire thing to make sure I wasn't missing out on anything. Sure enough,
Wow, man, you
cat was
actually did
fucking
your
there.
homework. Thank you very
so
much.
it was fucking cool to see that he actually made another black candle. So,
But look,
might
at that point, like, why wouldn't you make more than one?
uh,
I would make multiples. I mean, if it was me, and just why not? You're already doing one anyways. Make a couple.
It's like, yeah, just in case
maybe
it doesn't work.
maybe he doesn't have the full ingredients to make whatever the black candle needs.
That's another thing. Do you know what the black candle you need to make?
Absolutely
Black
not.
and candle
No.
the
The black candle's made from the fat of a hangman.
of a hanged man.
fat of a hangman.
Yeah. So I guess it's a hanged man. So basically someone that's deceased and they're fat. You make it because candles and soap are like made from that type of like
blubber?
from blubber and whatnot. So they make that from a dead man.
Interesting.
So he must have done some shady shit to make those candles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably hanging on the white people.
But
All right. All right, Gilbert. All right.
Yeah, I made sure to.
A
Watch
lot
the
of
whole
people are
fucking thing.
jumping on that fucking Marvel bandwagon and just they're throwing stuff in
you
at the
never
end.
know. Like I
And
I
even
have
at that,
no clue.
it's not even that original.
Nah.
Fucking, they've been doing that shit since the 80s. Ferris Bueller.
That didn't
Ferris Bueller did that. Yeah, Ferris Bueller had an end scene like that. You didn't?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never knew that.
What? The whole he walks in his bathroom. Oh, you're still here? What are you doing? The movie's over. Like he has a whole thing, and that's all it is.
Shit.
Like how Deadpool
You've never
does
seen
it
it?
at the end.
Yeah, the whole that's a spin-off on Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe
Yeah,
has one.
Masters of the Universe.
That's an interesting one. It's just literally Skeletor's head. He's like, "Bro."
non-original, but I mean, still, you know, you never know. So that's why I wait till the end of everything to make sure.
I usually do, but I was just like, I was tired as fuck.
One thing I thought was really fucking cool. The zombie, played by
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones.
Oh, him again?
Dude,
Doug
he
Jones?
played the zombie again. The first time at the age of 32.
I was a little bummed out on some of the makeup. Most of the makeup was pretty good.
Some of the makeup was
Some of it was
alright.
not good.
Yeah, the makeup artist this time around did try their
Well, I think-
best. It wasn't
I think-
like what the first time was.
No,
The
that's
first
why.
time
This
around
is
was
what
fucking
I want to
good.
say about that. I think that the whole reason is because it wasn't built for a theatrical release, which means the production was not nearly as high.
No, it was.
So
But I think what made this movie for me more enjoyable was the fact that it didn't really rely on CGI.
there's a lot of practical effects.
It was a lot of practical
Yeah.
effects. And I
There were
really
only,
loved it.
I guess, the only CGI is like when they're flying.
Or no, I think it was just a backdrop, and then it looked like it.
That's still computer generated. It's a green screen.
Oh,
And then when they were disappearing,
the stairs. Oh, that too, and the stairs.
I was at the stairs.
But-
I was a little disappointed actually with disappearing. It wasn't very good. It was kind of
drawn out.
like Winifred's was great when she disappeared, but the girls like Sarah and
I think it was like a more
other one.
emotional aspect. There, she was.
no, but it's like
watching-
if you go back and watch it again. When I was watching this, they start disappearing and then they 100% just they don't fade. They cut like a movie cut. It was like I was like, wait, they didn't fade entirely. They're like no, and then just gone. I was like, what happened? So I mean, there's definitely some issues with the computer generated stuff, you know, and but the practical effects are great, and I kind of wish you know, obviously we're sticklers for practical effects on this show. We've talked about it numerous times, just because they stand the test of time and they look better overall.
Yes.
You know, because obviously computer graphics they're cool for the time.
Technology's
They're
always
great
gonna
for the time,
advance, yeah.
but they never stand the test of time. There's only a handful of movies that the graphics have stood the test of time, and there's literally only a handful. Yeah, and one of them is definitely Jurassic Park. I know we've talked about that before.
But that's all practical effects, though.
Most
of it is.
but I'm talking about like the opening sequence with like the Brachiosaurus is probably the best scene.
Oh yeah.
In that. The reason I didn't like Billy's thing was because like his face makeup was a little bit lighter, and then the when the stitches on his face were so dark, it looked like horseshit. It's supposed to be a couple 100 years old, but they made it look like they were brand new stitches.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So it's like there was the continuity there is a little off. And then when they put his head on the mantle and whatnot when they were doing the spell, kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
That was totally like just him sitting there, and then they built the prop around him. You could tell. I was like, come on, man.
Definitely, that was what
it's
it was.
like this is like a Disney production. I understand, like it's to home production, but have a little, put some fucking effort into it.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I thought it was pretty cool that he came back at the age of 61 trying to do this all over again.
Well, he takes pride in all of his his creature roles, and of course he would come back.
Yeah, I remember in the comment he was saying it was much harder to do it this time than it was the first time. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're 61 this time. You're not 32.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
It's 30 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, how do I act? How do I do this? What did I sound like then?
So he had a hard time remembering how he used to stumble and walk for the zombie, like, and everything.
How to get back into character?
Exactly.
They all kind of had that.
Yeah, they all
kind of had that.
did
It's been
have
30 years.
It's been 30 years. Exactly.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, but I think for the most part he did pretty good. Him being able to come back and try to do that whole thing again. I think he was good.
Well, I mean, let's talk about because we've been talking about a lot of just random stuff on the movie. Let's talk about like favorite sequence. What was your guys' favorite sequence?
One of the things I actually really did enjoy is when they were on stage. That
was really fun. That was really
the crowd.
That was really fun.
That was probably my favorite one right there so far. Because they kind of did it again.
It's like
from the first movie.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's
the same
just
thing.
Different song. And you know what? They got down again, and they were really cool about it. Like
I think it was. I was really impressed because having to do that with such a large crowd of extras, choreographing all that to make it look on point. I think that's got to be my favorite sequence.
And you know what? It kind of reminded me of like Michael Jackson's Thriller when everybody was on point
like
that. I was like, oh, that crowd just like that.
I like the musical number for sure.
The musical number was great. Cool. I enjoyed it very much. It was actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, I still think my favorite sequence is going to be the very beginning of the movie with the children.
Yeah.
Just because it was done so well.
That too.
It was done so well.
Kids, they did fucking amazing.
And then even the introduction of the witch from the Forbidden Forest was really nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And it's crazy we didn't get to see her again, but we did get to see the bird that she disguised herself as.
It's still around.
She's still around.
The bird is still around.
Maybe we'll find other.
That's the thing is I think
other witches.
I think she's coming back because that book belonged to her, and then the book got passed on to the new coven. So I think she's coming to either teach or take the book back.
I like how at the ending they are walking in that.
Oh yeah, the way they walk,
or whatever, just like the Sanderson
left
Sisters.
leg and right leg.
I thought that was really good. I was like, oh man, there you go, next generation of witches right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's not a fun movie.
Really fun movie to watch.
It's a fun movie, but I mean, as far as like a sequel goes, it's it was just a little cheesy on that respect. That they did a bunch of this stuff. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm always looking for like originality.
I'm not saying it was bad, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but I can definitely say that.
Yeah, it was
let's talk about sequels that are as good or better than the first. All right, there are some,
but you got to consider like over 20 years when there's a sequel.
There's plenty of time to write a great sequel. Let's talk about the most current one. We saw Top Gun Maverick. Fucking fantastic.
That was a fantastic
movie.
If not better than the first. It's so close.
I think for me, again, this one, it's definitely not better than the first. However, I think it holds up on its own. And I really enjoyed this movie. I kind of was I was going into the movie expecting it to like just be a cut and copy of the first movie.
Just like whatever.
Yeah. But I was really impressed, and I really enjoyed this movie. So it went above my expectations, and that's why
it definitely
really
went above expectations. So I got to give it that.
Yeah.
Got to give it its due. Like, this movie technically could have been a standalone. So because they had the introduction in the beginning, they briefly go over the Sanderson sisters again in the very beginning of the movie with Gilbert and the girls and whatnot.
Yeah.
right? So technically, this movie could have been a standalone movie for obviously new people introduced to the series. You didn't have to watch the first one to get what was happening.
Although you should have, because that movie.
Although you should have, yeah. I'm just saying.
The first one's become like a staple of Halloween, you know?
Yeah, but you didn't have to. You could just literally jump into this movie and be like, oh shit, there's a first one?
And I think
go back
that's why I love the interview we did with David Kirschner. He's like, he loved Halloween so much, and for him to like write a script and do the movie that became such a staple of Halloween, like that's got to be something like an accomplishment.
It's crazy because that movie didn't do very well.
It
didn't do very well in theaters, but it did great when it got released to like a DVD and VHS.
It became like a cult classic.
Yeah, and then they would air it on TV, and
over and over. Yeah,
over and over. Yeah,
every year
it blew up that way.
I was reading something about Hocus Pocus that every year during like the October, like it'll get watched over 100 and something thousand times in October.
I wonder.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I wonder
just in
how much.
October.
I wonder how much this movie's going to get watched this first month of October, upon its initial release. So like the first of October, I wonder how much it's going to get.
Okay, so at the time of this recording, it'll have been a little over 2 weeks, and right here I'm going to put how many times it's been viewed if I can find it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll put it up.
Because Disney's a little suspicious. Streaming services are weird like that.
They're
right?
weird like that. I'm telling you, it's because they make money on it somehow. They're not telling us, man. Otherwise, why would they bother streaming? They can't say that their main source of income is the subscription. Go fuck yourself. Then why does it matter? It doesn't matter if any movies get views. Why would they pull stuff off of their streaming service if it doesn't matter?
Yeah,
views make a difference. But they're not telling us. Stop being so fucking sneaky,
bastards.
Sound bitch.
Sound bitch.
David.
Sisters.
Cheers. Cheers.
Clink.
Clink. Oh, God damn, it's so good.
All right. So, I do know what the budget is for the movie. I just don't know how much it made.
Well, because it went to streaming, so
I'm only going to give you guys. Sorry, guys, but that's
it is what it is.
Blame Disney. Blame the streaming
Maybe
services.
we can figure that shit later if they, once he edits and all this stuff.
I mean, the smarter move to do is release it for 2 weeks out in theaters and then just put it to streaming. Like,
that's what every movie should. But the thing is, they're worried about risk and whatnot. And it might not make any money. Let's just put it on a streaming service. But the thing is, like, give it a shot.
Yeah, give it a
yeah. Here we go again. David Raby, you want to start us off with
blowing my nose.
George Lugo, how about we start us off with what you think the budget is for Hocus Pocus 2?
All right, I'm gonna go with
factor everything in.
Yeah, I'm trying to factor everything. I think
especially in the Jimmy flying on those 2 saucers.
That shit was really funny.
The little dirt devil
on
things.
The little fucking robots. Yeah.
That was funny.
All right, give us your.
I like how they came back to her to clean up the salt.
Salt to let them out.
That part was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. I think I'm gonna go with 75 mil.
75 million.
Yeah, I don't think more than that.
It
might even be less. So
it might even be less.
Yeah, I think 75 million.
I was thinking 50 mil to be less. Yeah.
Ooh,
it's not. I don't think it's that much. Is it more than that?
50 million and 75 million. David Raby is the closest with a whopping $28 million.
Whoa!
Wow. All right. So here we have to give them props because they did a lot of work with a very small budget.
So the budget for Hocus Pocus 2 was $28 million.
That's a win in my book.
Damn, dude.
$28 million.
What was the first one?
I know that the first one, David Kirschner actually kind of got his start by meeting Steven Spielberg early on. If you watch the interview on USUK,
I'll watch it.
Yeah, what's the difference?
I'll post the link on that.
Yeah, he it's a great interview, and he talks about how he had done An American Tale and Fievel Goes West.
I love that fucking movie.
Yeah. Dude, the way he tells it, how he pitched the idea to Spielberg at his fucking party, like it's just a beautiful fucking story, dude. It brings tears to your eyes.
See, there's another fucking sequel that was incredible, an animated sequel.
Yeah. So then when he did this one, he kind of like did it without Spielberg, and Spielberg was very upset. He was very hurt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But yeah, it was just, other than that, dude, he has like a great career. He's such a sweet guy, dude. You got to watch that interview.
I'm definitely going to watch that.
Did you find it yet, Manny?
Actually, $28 million was the first Hocus Pocus.
So
the
we
second
one,
wrong. Hocus Pocus 2 is around budget $28 million.
Shit.
Same thing as the first movie.
Weird.
Thank you for doing your research while we're doing the show.
Yeah.
This is why we edit shit.
Why do you say we?
We just edit you.
You mean me?
This is why he edits shit.
There we go.
This is why he edits you.
I get the credit.
This fucking guy. But I can't tell you what he made. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, $28 million to make Hocus Pocus is fucking.
I guess for both. So let's talk about
pretty damn good.
$28 million in 1993 when they made
1993 when
If
it
you
came out.
was pretty high.
Yeah, if you throw
It's
in
pretty high for them.
inflation.
Factor in inflation and time and all that stuff. And then for them to do it about the same price, literally 30 years later.
literally the same price.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. You got to give it that. That's
incredible.
incredible. Is there anything else you want to talk about on the movie? Or?
Not too much. Not really. No. Other than the three kept in touch with each other forever, and they felt like they were sisters at the end of the first Hocus Pocus.
Really?
So yeah, they kept in touch with each other quite a bit actually.
That's cool.
And like you guys were saying before, them wanting to make another Hocus Pocus, they were so pushing for it, so fucking all three of them.
Okay.
Waited fucking forever to try to make
down.
another one because they were so down to do it.
I love that.
I love those three. Those three just make the whole fucking like Halloween awesome.
Okay, yeah, if that's the case, then I kind of don't want them to make another one then. Honestly, I was fine with the first. It ended, blah, blah, blah. That's cool. If sequel,
Just
no
based
sequel.
on what he's telling me and based on the way they ended the movie, those two things, they're going to make another one.
I know, but I mean, without them, it's got
I
to be
think
something. It's got to be something completely
They're
different.
going to make it with
has to
them
be.
for sure.
Because I mean, I don't know.
They're so iconic to the series. Obviously, it's based on them. They're going to make it
What
with
are they
them.
going to do with the third one? They're going to fucking just have them in there briefly, then take them out.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
If there's a way to bring them back for a
There's
third one,
definitely. I mean, there's another candle.
Dude, what got me teary-eyed? Fucking Book teared up at the end.
Book.
Oh, man.
All right, so here's one of my favorite graphics in the movie is the Book.
Yes.
His eyeball was amazing.
When
it looks
she's
so
looking-
good the
when
whole
she's looking
time.
for the book, he's like sweating.
Right.
And his
You
eyes like
see,
sweating.
you see the bead of sweat come down his head when she's looking for the book? Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked that they gave the Book his own personality, right? And he has opinions. Because in the first one, he kind of did that, kind of really, but not really. But it's nice that they made the Book like a living entity, which it is.
It is.
And it has its own opinions. You know, so that's fucking awesome. I love that.
really-
That was one of my favorite things with the Book.
I like the fact where she tried to beg Book to bring the sisters back, to do something for her for like one last time, just anything. And he's like, you can tell that Book is fucking thinking or trying to figure shit out. And
I'll hook you up.
he finally pulls to a page where she has to read a cantation with her friends. And once she says where my sisters are, is like, they're not bringing them back. You're going to them.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that she gets so happy, the fact that that's happening. She wants to be with her sister so bad. She doesn't even care that she's going. Thank you is basically what it is. Oh, it was such a fucking like heart moment and everything. I loved it. It was actually really good.
It's heartfelt for sure. But I mean, that's Disney. They're gonna do that.
I really like their closeness that they have when like
They're gonna do that.
all their sisters just being so close to each other. You know, I love that.
It's great. So what are we rating this movie as? What are you giving it? What are you giving it, George?
I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Okay. I was actually sitting myself on a 3.5.
But you guys can pick the head. That's just my rating.
Okay,
So one
I'm
of you two
giving a
can.
3.5 myself. As much as I enjoyed this movie, I thought it was a really fun movie. There was just some things that fell through for me. So 3.5.
They
for
were
me
just
also.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like we've mentioned before, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not worth the watch. It's not.
No, it was definitely.
It's definitely worth the watch.
It
It was fun, and I'll probably watch it again with my kids. You know, like it's a fun movie. So,
Dave,
I still got to go with 5.
5?
Yeah, I really like this movie a lot.
That's cool.
And
Yeah,
I don't know. I
no,
guess because like our interview with David Kirschner, he's just like I gotta give him some credit.
I know,
dude.
but you
love that
gotta
guy.
you gotta take the movie for what it is.
Yeah.
But it's still. I mean, it holds up even just by itself.
Yeah, no, it holds up pretty good.
But I mean, if you guys want to do the 3 heads, I recommend you do the sisters, all 3 heads.
We can do that.
The 3 sisters and Book.
And Book.
And Book, yeah,
The
there you
3
go.
sisters
And a
and
half.
Book can be
There
the
you go.
half. Book
Half
can be
the
the half.
book.
That's a good one.
But make sure he has the eye.
The eye, yeah.
3 Sanderson Sisters and Book.
Yep.
All right, 3.5. You know, 3.5 for Hocus Pocus 2.
Still go watch it.
Still go watch
Definitely
it.
go watch it.
Definitely
It's
a family
It's
fun
a fun.
movie.
It's a family fun film. This is so good.
It is.
I know, it's super tasty.
Thank you for watching Not Your Everyday Critics. If you really enjoyed our content, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, please. It's a very small thing for you. Does wonders for us. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Helps the algorithm. Or just tell us what's up. You can email us at nyec.gsc@gmail.com. Leave us a email on whether or not you like the movie, upcoming ideas, or how gay Manny is. Or you can hit up our social media. We have social media. We have Not Your Everyday Critics Facebook, and then at Not Your Everyday Critics for Instagram. And pretty soon I'll be putting this on multiple platforms. Might not get this episode, but we're going to be on multiple platforms soon. So look forward to that.
Sounds good.
All right.
I think we can wrap it up.
Yep. And as always, happy movie going.
Happy movie going.
Cheers again, guys.
Happy Halloween.
Woo.